Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Coach's Corner. My name is Adam Gahabe of Focal Point Business Coaching of Cary, and with me, as always, is Mike Lamb of Focal Point Business Coaching of Utah. How you doing today, Mike?
Doing good. Another
Excellent.
wonderful day in the neighborhood.
Yes, and as we all know, this is a lovely podcast where we talk about business concepts and what Mike and I are seeing out in the field and how to relate and utilize those concepts to help solve your everyday business problems. So, with nothing else to lose. Let's jump right in. Mike, I've got a topic for us for today. Guess what it is?
Shoot. I don't
Shoot.
know. Just shoot
No,
me right off the hip.
not right. Today we are going to talk about one of those things that I think every single person on the face of the planet deals with, not just business owners and business leaders. Guess what? It's called time management. Ding, ding, time. The one thing that we can never get enough of. And if we don't manage it properly, we'll start to get away from us and we'll get nothing done.
Mm.
That's kind of where I want to open this today. I've been having a whole bunch of talks with people lately around how do you effectively manage your time? What tools do you use in order to make sure that you stay focused on the activities that are actually tied to your happiness, your values, and your key output? And that's kind of where I want to start this. It starts around focus, right? Without focus, any notion of time management goes out the window. So
Mhm.
before I lay out my whole principle on you, time management, what are your views, my friend?
Um, Time management is something we all want, but I don't think everyone's very good. Very many people are good at it,
Of
I
course
guess
not.
I would say.
Why is
Um,
that?
you're talking about focus, and that could be part of the problem. There's too many things. The world's moving fast. There's so
Hmm.
much information at our fingertips. There's so many ways to get distracted. There's so many ways to connect with us, communicate with us that pull us away from what we're doing. Um, Focus is probably the biggest part is if we can get ourselves to block out times and focus and do what we need to, we can get a lot more done.
Sure can.
And we do the multitasking practice where you do
Hmm.
the alphabet and the numbers. And it really does prove out that if we're getting pulled by multiple things all while we're trying to get one thing accomplished, oh man, it's going to triple, quadruple our time that
Yep.
it takes to get something done
Yep.
because we're having to switch back and forth from one act.
Context switching is a killer.
Crazy.
Context switching is a killer. You
They
know,
say it's up to 8 to 10 minutes
yep.
of to switch between two activities.
You think
And
about how much time you're then wasting. If every time you switch activities, you're, let's just say 10 minutes because it's easier for math and it's late in the week and I'm tired. Um, think about how much you're wasting in your given day, let alone a week, let alone a year. Astronomical. You mentioned something, and you just mentioned it in passing, but I really want to hammer this home. The key to focus starts, in my opinion, with eliminating distractions. Okay. So, how do we do that? How do you do that in very simple principles? Well, that means you know yourself, you know your vices, you know those shiny objects that are going to get your attention. When you have to buckle down and get something done, it all starts with your environment. Make sure you're in an environment. Make sure that you've got your water, your snacks, whatever you need to do. You have, cleared your desk, your board. You have taken this wonderful little pocket computer and you've set it to off or silent, and it is out of sight, out of mind. You have the environment set up.
wait. Do you
Oh,
turn up NWA or do you crank up symphony music
I mean,
or rock
I
and
ge-
roll?
I guess it's gonna depend on the mood. If it was this morning, I would think I was playing some Danzig Mother. So there's a little flash from the past for you.
For me,
But
that's a big one. Putting with the environment is to have some music that'll get me in the zone, and I just keep going. Some people can't have noise.
well, once again, I said your vices, you know you. Eliminate your distractions. Give yourself the ecosystem that sets you up best to succeed. Okay.
Yeah.
That I guess is my target number one. What are some of those things that you would do or you would advise people on in order to, work efficiently?
It goes kind of in conjunction with this environment topic of it is we have to block it out. We've now we have to have that time set aside to get things done.
Hmm.
And if that means we have to block out the world and people around us, then we have to say, you know what? I'm going to be working on this task. My phone's not here. I'm not going to answer my call. You might have to tell your spouse that you're going to be busy in this activity and you can't be distracted from it. And you have to tell your peers and those around you in the office that, hey, I'm going to be in my office. I'm going to be working on this and I need to get it done.
Okay.
And if I get it done faster, I'm going to have more time to spend with you when I'm done.
So in the office setting, you mean, let's say, for those of us that have used Slack or some of those other messaging apps, you literally are going to say use do not disturb.
Yeah,
It is one of those key features that is
never used.
really lowly used. Why is that, right? Because there's so many organizations these days that are tracking clicks of a mouse or, keyboard strokes, and everyone's paranoid to take the time away, go away so that you're not visible, and actually take a pad and pen and do some work. It is amazing what I personally get done with the old school pen and paper. And as I've written it down, Mike, I'm retaining more of the information because I just know that that's the way that my mind works, right?
This is a
So
one beautiful thing that we probably both found with this. In my role previously, there was slacks going in and out
always,
always, and I never blocked. And I wish I would have. I would have learned a lot or accomplished a lot more,
yeah,
and got out of work a lot earlier some days.
no doubt.
And yeah, I don't have Slack now. I don't have anybody that distracts me. I'm able to accomplish a lot more. And it's okay to hit do not disturb. I don't answer my phone when I'm coaching with someone or I'm working in the office.
You say we don't have Slack and there's no one to bug you. That's not true. I get you on Google Messages all the time. So I am that guy, and I will
Yeah,
gladly be that guy because I
that
enjoy
is
being that
one hundredth of what it used to be.
guy. I've got some restraint, Mike. Not much, but some.
But
All
when
right,
you're the
so
business owner and leader, man, think of all the things that can come in and distract you. And I
well,
know that
everything.
we're trained to do that and we're trained to help answer problems and answer questions and solve those things, but we also need to train ourselves to ignore those things and take care of them in the right time and place.
Well said. So I said I think my first key piece was eliminate distractions. Uh, my second piece is going to be the best thing that I can say around time management is to block your calendars. Not everyone implements time blocking the same way. I don't care how you do it. I don't care if those blocks shift. I don't care if you sandwich the most important actions or the actions you hate the most. Let's just say it's accounting because everyone hates accounting. And you do that in the beginning of your day every day just to eat that frog and get it done and over with. Don't care how you do it.
Yep.
Use blocks of time and always make sure that you put in prep and post follow up, right? Block your calendar. It is that thing that gives you self accountability.
Yeah.
If you can't be on the phone with me that particular day or you that particular week, put things in your calendar because your phone is a fantastic notification mechanism to let you know you should be doing this. And
Yeah.
if you're not doing it, that little Jiminy Cricket on your shoulder should be telling you that this is important. If it wasn't important, you wouldn't have placed a calendar notice in your calendar. Use your calendar as an accountability partner. I love that. I love that. I love that. I don't think people do it enough.
It's the easiest way to say no. Oh, look, let me check my calendar. oh, you know what? I got an activity going on then. Then I'll schedule it out later and we can chat at this time. Man,
Yep.
you don't have to fumble and be like, well, I got this thing I'm working on. I could
I
probably
can
have,
probably shift. Yeah, see, that's what everyone says. I can probably make that work.
I can make that work.
Okay, so let's kind of digest that. When you say I can probably make that work, what are you really saying? In your own mind, you're deprioritizing
Yeah. Yeah.
something else that you already had locked in for execution. You have basically just bumped that next item. And if you're not good about managing your calendar, you probably don't have space for that. You've created debt. You've created, something that you cannot pay down currently. You don't
Yeah.
have the ability to invent more time, so you
Mhm.
can't plug it in somewhere new. You have given yourself another hurdle to go jump over. Why? Because of discipline, lack of discipline. That is my third item, Mike. Discipline, right? So you got to have discipline in your actions so that you can effectively set your priorities and follow through on those priorities. If you don't have the discipline, you will always find that shiny object, that other next thing to go do, the client request that came up 10 minutes ago, and you're like, I can probably make that work. At what cost? There's always going to be things in life that bump up and take a higher priority. That's okay. We have to be flexible to respond and react, but we also have to have the discipline. And you said this to say what words, Mike?
No.
No. I love that.
Yeah.
Learn how to say no. All right, I'm just rattling these suckers off.
Oh,
What do you got for me?
well, we all love deadlines, right? With time
No,
management.
no one loves deadlines. Yes.
Some of us need deadlines,
Yes.
and that's not the person we want to be. Um, if we have a big project we want to get done, it's great to have a deadline and we need to work on it and know that's there, but we shouldn't procrastinate
Uh-huh.
things till the deadline and try to do them just in a big lump and not get it done as well as we could have, where if we'd have started early, again, blocked out time
Mhm.
throughout, then the deadline doesn't even matter. We're done before and it's so much easier and we accomplished it in a better manner.
So we had just got done talking about time blocking and using your calendar as a means for self accountability. Deadlining is the same type of outcome, or it can have the same type of outcome. Here's the other thing I will say when we talk about setting deadlines. You're helping with communication. Clear communication drives clear, efficient actions. Did everyone hear that? Because I'll say it again. Clear communication drives clear expectations and outcomes. Love that statement. Let's dive into a little bit of why. Don't just set your deadlines for when the final result, the final part of your delivery needs to be complete. You know how people always talk about iterative growth, iterative development, continuous something, right? There's always some type of buzzword depending on your industry, doesn't matter, but it's all about betterment yourself every day, getting one step better than you were yesterday. Now, let's take that same practice or principle and utilize it with deadlines and expectations. Every day, there should be an outcome you're looking to achieve. Every day, you've given yourself a barometer, some way to take a quick timeout and evaluate your actions versus your growth versus the expected results. Ooh, expected results. This sounds a little like a little KPI discussion here, right? But it's what holds us accountable to ourselves. Don't just do it on the big picture. Make these little small chunks.
Yeah.
By modulating your work, you're creating things that you can piggyback off of, and you can see how you're going to solve half of this, and then you'll be able to utilize that half to make the second half easier, right? Stepping stones. Love that one.
Motivate you along the way.
Ooh, motivation.
You kind of touched on this one with environment, but the other thing I think with time management is we prepare thoroughly before we begin doing something.
Okay.
You talked about having your water and your snacks or whatever.
Snacks. It's
Well,
always snacks.
it's time and motion, right? If we're doing things, we need to be prepared, have all the tools we need at hand, and get it done.
Yep.
Rather than getting up, oh, I walked out. Have you ever seen the funniest Malcolm in the Middle episode with Bryan Cranston when he goes to change the light bulb in the house? Have you ever seen that episode?
I won't lie.
He goes,
No.
it, it is, there's a short YouTube video
Okay.
you should watch. But he notices the light bulb's out in the house and and his wife had asked him to change the light bulb. So he goes to get the light bulb from the garage, opens the door, it squeaks. He goes to get the WD-40 to fix the squeak, forgets about the light bulb.
Yeah. I mean,
Now notices there's no WD-40. So he's got to
okay.
go to the hardware store. He goes to the hardware store. But anyways, it's one of the funniest skits, and it's Bryan Cranston. He's
He is amazing. Yep.
brilliant.
Yep.
But that's prepare everything you can so those distractions don't come up
Yeah.
when going back and forth from things. Oh, hey, I got to go to so and so and get this information to complete this. Well, we probably should have had that before we began in the project.
Yep.
Because you're going to go talk to somebody else in the organization, and next thing you know, like 30 minutes have gone by, and you've talked about 10 other
Yep.
things.
So
Um,
I think the point you're making is a perfect segue for me. We have to have plans and you have to have your goals laid out, your expectation. What do you want to achieve out of these things? So if you were Bryan Cranston, you went to the closet that first time for that light bulb. You can't forget that you needed that light bulb. Now, I'm going to make a slight transition here. The light bulb is actually just a goal that he had set for himself.
yeah.
So you've got to have your key goals for your short-term growth and your short-term activities. Why are we talking about goals? Well, it's pretty simple, Mike. If you don't have your goals, you don't then know how to evaluate if the actions you are taking are aligning with you growing towards achieving that given goal. So I love to do this exercise, and I know you and I have talked about it, and I think we mentioned it on this cast prior, but I have people go through their last like 2 weeks of their calendar, and
Yeah.
then they create a secondary list of these are all the repetitive tasks and actions that I do on a weekly basis. So you've got these two lists, right? These are the things that I've done. These are the things that I always do, and then I've got my three goals here, and I get three colored highlighters, right? Bam! Grab your old Sharpies, and I want to know goal one and give me all of those things that are aligned with goal one. What's fascinating about doing something like that is it shows you just how much of your actions are not focused on what you're trying to achieve. That's waste. And I'm not saying they're wasteful actions, but if those goals that you have set are you truly your top three and they're the most important things to you, well, you're not being efficient with your use of time, and you're certainly not executing efficiently because it's just going to elongate that time to completion. Great exercise, highly recommend it. Anyone who's struggling with understanding where they're spending time and how to kind of refocus your energies. Okay. What else do you got on this lovely topic, my friend?
Um, so we kind of broke it down and you talked about it. The little iterative steps,
Yep.
you know, they're going to build that momentum. And it just came to mind that small steps episode that we did a while
Mhm.
back. If you haven't listened to that, get started with small accomplishable steps that you can get done and you can block out, get it done. And that's going to build momentum for the next time you go to do something else on a project if you're working in it.
Mhm.
Um, and then just completely avoid any procrastination of things. Like like you said, just putting things off by saying, "Oh yeah, I can fit it in somehow." Other things, you're deprioritizing it, and you're going to procrastinate it to the end, and
Yep.
you're going to be stressed out. And when you're stressing yourself out without knowing it, it really puts a burden on you mentally with everything you're doing when you're stressed out all the time. It definitely has a response on you and your productivity and
Mhm.
the quality of the work and the happiness that you get from your work.
Let's
Um,
talk a little bit about procrastination in real life scenarios here. So I've got two of them in my mind, and one of these is kind of just like a rule that I like to live by. So we go out and we do a whole bunch of networking, right, Mike? We go talk to people, shake hands, kiss babies. We walk home with these,
mhm.
right? Whole bunch of business cards. I hate business cards. I love them, but I hate them. Why? What do I mean? And how does this have anything to do with procrastination? I'm not entirely sure, but I'll find a way to make it work. No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa, really winging
Oh,
it.
no, 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 no. This is all planned. We get these. It takes us 24 hours to go then follow up with each of these people on each of these cards, right? Then it takes them anywhere from 6 to 12 hours to craft a response back to us, which says, yes, I'd love to meet. I enjoyed meeting you too. I have availability here, here, and here. 6 more hours for me to respond back to that saying, that doesn't work in my schedule. Can you do, guys, stop. What have we done? We've procrastinated and we've elongated a process that would have taken us 30 seconds in person when I first met you, Mike, to pull this out and say, hey, so thank you for your card. Greatly appreciate it. If this is something we'd like to do a follow-up on, do it now. Don't procrastinate. That was example one. Example two, when you are closing out a meeting and you know you need to schedule a follow-up, how often do you hear people say, I'll get back to you and we'll schedule time? No, guys, no, no, do it. I end every one of my sessions, every one of my calls with, if we know we're going to be meeting again, I want to go ahead and get that on the books now. Don't push something off until tomorrow that you can do today. You want to talk about being good with time management and feeling good about the optimization of the use of your time. These types of simple tips and tricks are going to help you save hours. And you
Yeah.
can either use those hours and reinvest them back in the business and grow at a faster rate, or guess what? Go golfing, go ride a bike, go take your kids out, go walk the dogs, take your significant loved one or spouse out for, something special, ice cream on a sunny day. I don't care, but take the time back and use it the way you want, not the
Yeah.
way you feel like you're being dictated to. Anyway, now I'm getting preachy.
And I have another one with procrastination that I hear a
Uh-oh.
lot is what?
So, uh-oh. We
This
have
one I
hit a sore
actually hear a
spot, huh?
lot. We all have this. I mean, right now is a perfect example of a time when probably a lot of people are using this one. We procrastinate the most painful things that we have to deal with.
Oh, yeah, you gonna
That's
talk about
a
taxes?
confrontational, if that's a confrontational meeting with an employee, or
Hmm.
if
It's true.
taxes are coming up,
Yep.
we procrastinate those things. And man, that's like having a storm cloud following you around all the time, just
Hmm.
looming over your head. And especially if it's like, oh man, I have to have a one-to-one with an employee that's been a shit for a while, and I've gotta, I gotta do that. And it's just, and you drag it out so long that when you finally do it, you do it poorly because you've been stressed out about it for so long. And it's just on your mind every day you leave work. It's on your mind every day you come to work. Oh, I got to talk to that guy, or I've got to do this. It's my least favorite part of my job.
Yep.
Just get those things done. Don't
Yep.
procrastinate them. Do
I,
your
I'm.
preparation, like I discussed.
Yep.
Prepare for them so when you do them, they're not as painful as they could have been, and get them done and get them off the table.
I'm with you. Get it
Wipe it.
done. I mean, I said it prior, and I'll say it again because it reinforces one of Brian Tracy's main books and principles. But eat that frog. Just get the thing that you hate the most out of the way, because then you don't have that rain cloud. I love that you said that, because that mindset that you've got that negative view of that task that's just going to track you all day. That negative mindset is going to be
Blow
able to
everything else.
infiltrate into, it's going to get its little tendrils in all these little small gaps and cracks, and it's going to have influence over your day. So love that. You know what, Mike? I think that's a fantastic way to kind of wrap this up. Let's do all the stuff we don't want as early and fast as possible, and then get on to the bigger and better things in life. And that is what, my friend, you and I are going to do with today.
Yes.
So great topic. Hope everyone found this beneficial and you were able to pull a few nuggets out for your own personal benefit and use. For Mike and myself, thank you all once again for joining us on episode 28 of Coach's
Yeah.
Corner,
What?
and look forward to talking to you all next week. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Ooh, jump in there.